Hello. Let me see if we get this thing. I'm going blurry. Okay, so it looks like it's still a bit blurry. Maybe it's my old eyes. All right, so you're here with me, Father Al, with Dear Father Al, an advice column broadcast every Saturday from 2 o'clock p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And what happens on Dear Father Al, you bring to me your problems about life, about love, relationships, whatever your issues may be. Please consider sending them to me, Father Al, with Dear Father Al. And what I'll do is I'll take all your information, jot it all down, and then reply back the following week with a common sense solution. You're here with me, Father Al, with Dear Father Al, again, an advice column broadcast every Saturday from 2 o'clock p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Today is Saturday, October 8th, episode number 6. You can contact me 24 hours a day. The telephone number you can reach me is area code 623-764-8893. Again, 623-764-8893. One more time, 623-764-8893. Just keeping an eye out on the viewing monitor on this side. Still looks, for whatever reason, I had it on auto. It was playing nice last week. Put it on auto this week, and it still seems just a wee bit fuzzy. I don't know what the dealio is with the issue with Facebook, but I'm hopeful that they can get it sorted out at some time in the near future. So you're here with me, Father Al, with Dear Father Al, an advice column broadcast every Saturday from 2 o'clock p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So people send to me their daily problems about life, about love, relationships, whatever the issues may be. They send them to me, and on the show, what I will do is I will read off the problems they experience and then reply back with a common sense solution. If by chance, if you need somebody outside of your basic scope, a friend, family, loved ones, someone that will give it to you straight, I'm hopeful you can depend on me, Father Al, with Dear Father Al, to help you move forward in life. So again, you're here with me, Father Al, with Dear Father Al. Today is Saturday, October 8th, episode number 6. Let me know in the chat line if by chance, when you're looking at your screen, if your display is just a wee bit fuzzy. Again, I thought I washed out my eyes, but I'm looking at the display and it just looks just a wee bit fuzzy. So let me know in the chat line if by chance, if it's showing up clear to you or if it looks a bit fuzzy. So anywho, I'm going to go ahead and read off what I received last week and we can roll forward. Love each and every one of you. Love you, love you, love you. Smooches, smooches, smooches. All right, so this is what I received last week. All right, so the one I received last week says, Dear Father Al, please help me. My mother was widowed 17 years ago. She and my father raised us 2 children in the same home. My children were adults when my father died. I left my home and went to take care of my mother and live with her in her home. She had not lived alone and needed help. That was 17 years ago. I have taken care of her. The 2 of us met together with a representative from her finance company. The representative was to write up my mother's wishes and agreement for my mother. We scheduled the meeting appointment for my mother to sign the completed papers. My mother died the night before this signature appointment. Mother wanted me to stay in our home to care for this house and care for our dogs. What do I do now? I am a retired senior. My children have paid the current taxes on this house. Father Al, please help me and tell me what to do. Signed, Worried Daughter. All right, Worried Daughter, I will reply back to you in a sec. So if by chance you're experiencing something similar to this in your life now, one or both of your parents are deceased, and you've been living with them for a while. You may have some siblings that are out there, but not necessarily living with in the same house, but they're still around. Interject your comments in the chat line and let us know how you interacted with your siblings and how you were able to deal with the current situation. Click the like, click the share, click the thumbs up, tell as many people about the broadcast as possible. And if by chance, if you're watching the rebroadcast on YouTube, click the subscribe button. Again, click the like, click the share, click the thumbs up, tell as many people about the broadcast as possible. And if by chance, if you're watching the rebroadcast on YouTube, click the subscribe button. Our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter handle is Dear Father Al. Again, Dear Father Al is our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter handle. You can contact me 24 hours a day. The telephone number you can reach me is area code 623-764-8893. Again, 623-764-8893. You can also send an email to me. The email address is contactfatheral, that's contactfatheral @gmail.com. Again, contactfatheral @gmail.com. On the subject line, go ahead and write Dear Father Al, and in the body of the message, give me about 500 words or less. And again, what I'll do is I'll take all your information, jot it all down, and then reply back the following week with a common sense solution. So this is what I have for worried daughter. All right, so actually, this is in questions. That's what. All right, so this is what I have for worried daughter. All right, worried daughter. I assume that since your mother did not make the appointment with the attorney, no formal will is in place. She may have told you that she wanted to do X, Y, and Z, but if she didn't write it down, then technically, from my understanding, there's no formal will in place. So if by chance, if you have any living siblings, one or two, however many you have, for example, if you got a brother or sister, all right, if you have any living siblings, the two of you should come together and identify who is going to be the executor of the estate. This is the person who will have to value each piece of the property, of your mother's, go to the property, how much, the bed set is worth, how much the china is worth, how much the car is worth, everything that's not nailed down for the most part. Someone has to value that, and then what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to split it between the two of you. So you got to figure out who is going to do it, you or your sibling. You can also hire a third party, whether it's an attorney or someone else that both of you can trust. It's going to cost you if you do somebody else, but that is what you're going to be dealing with. Although you claim that one or more of your parents verbally said that you could have X, Y, and Z. Well, Mom says, I could have everything that's in the house, all the furniture and all the dishes and everything in the house. She specifically told me that. That's not going to fly in court. So unless it's written down, unless it was in a will and whatnot and proven in a valid will, all bets are going to be off. Okay? So if you have a sibling which you do not communicate with, or you have not communicated well with, or at least on a regular basis, up until this point, fair warning, chances are this sibling of yours is going to come out of the woodwork and just start saying, you know what, hey, this is Mom's house, I get half, the two of us need to split it, we need to figure out who's going to do what. And chances are, if your sibling was not demanding, or if that person, your sibling's spouse, for example, is the one that's more demanding of the two, that sibling spouse may egg on your sibling to act a certain way. So all kind of crazy madness is going to come out likely. Best case scenario, hey, all right, sister, brother, hey, you get half, we both kind of split it up, put it in writing, and call it a day. That's best case scenario. But chances are it's not going to go down like that. So again, if you have a sibling which you do not communicate well on a regular basis, rest assured he or she will be troublesome during the process, and emotions will be running very high. Well, Mom said I should have, all of her clothes. What are you going to do with them? And pictures. Oh, people go nuts. People go nuts with pictures, and it's just, you would think it's just the simplest thing. It could be something like a favorite pair of shoes that your mom had that reminded you of the time that she walked across the living room on your first date, something like that, or a dish, or a clothes hanger, favorite little padded clothes hanger, just crazy stuff like that. So be prepared for something like that to actually come out. So if you and your sibling can come to an agreement on who gets what, all the better. Please note that someone has to, for the most part, someone has to be the executor of the estate to request legal documents, pay bills, etc. So feel free to contact me directly with additional guidance because been there, done that, bought that t-shirt. So again, you're here with me, Father Al, with Dear Father Al, an advice column broadcast every Saturday from 2 o'clock p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If by chance you need somebody outside of your basic scope, a friend, family, loved one, someone that will give it to you straight, and rest assured, I'll give it to you straight, please consider contacting me, Father Al, with Dear Father Al, and I will help you out the best way possible. So click the like, click the share, click the thumbs up. Tell as many people about the broadcast as possible. And if by chance, if you're watching the rebroadcast on YouTube, click the subscribe button. Our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter handle is Dear Father Al. Again, Dear Father Al is our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter handle. You can contact me 24 hours a day. The telephone number you can reach me is area code 623-764-8893. Again, 623-764-8893. One more time for the road, 623-764-8893. You can also send an email to me. The email address is contact FatherAl at gmail.com. Again, contact FatherAl at gmail.com. On the subject line, go ahead and write Dear Father Al, and in the body of the message, give me about 500 words or less. And then again, what I'll do is I'll take all your information, jot it all down, and then reply back the following week with a common sense solution. In the description, you're going to see a few links. The first link that you're going to see in the description is the Friend of the Father Partner link. And when you click that link, what that will do is that will take you to a PayPal page. And on the PayPal page, you're going to see a few drop-down options. The first drop-down option you will see is the Friend of the Father Partner program. The Friend of the Father Partner program link that you'll see in the first set. That is a program that we created to help keep the program alive. And what that will do is your donation will pay for dry cleaning for the suit jacket and the shirt. So that is what that will go to. The other set of drop-down options you will see in there is the Living Legacy program. The Living Legacy program, that is a program that we created to where we take donated mobile devices, laptop, notebooks, Samsung Galaxy Notes. We take those, we refurbish them, and then bring them back to factory reset. And then we donate them to senior citizens 65 and older with no income requirements. So if you're a senior 65 and older, or if you know a senior 65 and older that needs a mobile device, we've got some stuff in the back, and I'm hopeful that we can help you out. The reason why we chose the Samsung Galaxy Note is because the Samsung Galaxy Notes have the built-in stylus, and sometimes the seniors have frail hands and need additional devices to be able, tools to be able to help them navigate. So with the stylus that's built in, they can use that stylus to help them navigate on the phone. Keep in mind, if you donate one of the real legacy ones, the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the Samsung Galaxy Note, please note that those can only be used as a Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi connected tablet. Because of the older technology for those devices, those cannot be used as a phone, just a free Wi-Fi connected mini tablet. Take them to the store, grocery store, library, and around the house. Then you can navigate and surf the internet that way. If you want to donate one of the more current ones, the 9 and forward, those can be used as a phone as well as a mobile device. So that's the difference between the two. We'll take both of them, the legacy one, the real legacy ones, and the more current ones, but keep in mind that's the difference between the two. The other reference you're going to see in the drop down is a reference to the open and private. Open, that is where we'll tell any and everybody who donated, how much they donated. Private, that is where we'll keep who donated, we'll keep that information confidential. So that's the difference that you're going to see between the two in that set of drop-down options. The other link that you're going to see in the description is the Father Al wish list. If you've been around a while, you notice that people have been donating very nice, very fine cigars to me, Father Al. So if by chance, if you want to send some donation to me for helping you out, even in some small way, consider clicking that link. And what that will do is that will take you to an Amazon.com page. You're going to see all kind of cool accessories, golf accessories, cigar accessories, all kind of great stuff. So if you want to send some love to me, Father Al, for helping you out, please consider clicking that link, and it'll take you to the Amazon.com page. If you want to send a cigar directly, you can't do it directly, from my understanding, from Amazon. So if you've got your favorite cigar, store, website, you want to drop ship it to me, hey, go ahead and do so. Let me know in advance that the package is on the way, so that way I'll know when the concierge is saying, hey, Al, you've got something downstairs. That way I know that something is downstairs and I can actually get it and know what it is. So those are the two links that you're going to see in the description. After this live broadcast, you're going to see on my Facebook wall, Dear Father Al was live. That way you can watch the show again and again. Later on tonight, I'm going to create a rebroadcast that is available on YouTube, likely tomorrow morning. Maybe even later on tonight, I'll create a rebroadcast that is available on Instagram. So that way you can watch it that way. So that is what's going to happen after the show. So again, click the like, click the share, click the thumbs up, tell as many people about the broadcast as possible. And if by chance, if you're watching the rebroadcast on YouTube, click the subscribe button. Again, click the like, click the share, click the thumbs up, tell as many people about the broadcast as possible. And if by chance you were watching the rebroadcast on YouTube, click the subscribe button. So let's go and roll forward with the very next one. Again, on the monitors, for me, looking just a bit fuzzy. So let me know in the chat line if yours is clear. I'm hopeful that it's clear on your end and it just acted this way while it's in live mode. All right, so this is what I received recently. All right, this one says, Dear Father Al, I am not happy with my current bank. Who really is? How do I go about finding a different bank that will be more acceptable to me? Please give me advice to follow. Thank you, Bank Shopper. All right, Bank Shopper, I will reply back to you in a sec. So if by chance, if you're not happy with your lending institution, your bank and whatnot, let us know what you did to search, shop for a new bank. Internet, walk up, let us know what you did and interject your comments in the chat line. All right, so this is what I have for Bank Shopper. All right, Bank Shopper. Lately, over the past maybe 5-ish years, there are more mobile options that are available. If your dislike of your bank is due to fees, the check-in fees, the processing fees, that kind of stuff, hey, that's understandable. Okay, well, granted, they've got to make money somehow, So, but yeah, that is understandable with the fees and stuff. So consider looking at credit union. If you're not currently using a credit union, then the credit union, association, whatever, they're not paying me to say this, to promote credit unions. So, all right, so consider looking at credit unions versus the more traditional commercial banks. They're not paying me to say this. The Wells Fargo, the Bank of America, Chase, conventional type of bank, saving loans. So again, consider checking out a credit union, for example. If you work for, let's say, the government, the city, state, county, parish, whatever, in your area. You're a teacher, for example. There may be credit unions available for you to join for likely some sort of fee. Maybe, an annual credit union fee. Also, this fee may be less than the monthly fee, especially if you got, a conventional commercial bank where you've got to pay some sort of monthly fee if you do not have a balance of X, or if you do not have direct deposit going into that bank. You're likely to be paying a fee at the traditional commercial type of bank. So consider checking out the credit unions, for example. Another option is what they call internet/online banks. And they're not paying me to say this. These banks do not have the typical brick and mortar structure where you can kind of walk in, chat with a bank, a teller or banker, stuff like that. No, it's all online. They may even have telephone or chat only customer service. So that's one of the things you've got to keep in mind when you're dealing with an internet bank. A lot of the fees, I would assume, that the traditional, commercial type banks, why they're throwing those fees at you, they've got to pay for, the rent, the mortgage, the electricity, payroll. So they're going to pass those fees down on to you. Internet banks, they may have some sort of single facility somewhere, but they don't have all these different branches available for you to go to. So that way, that will save you money from having to pay fees versus using a commercial bank like that. So again, the internet online banks, for example, do not have brick and mortar facilities. One that comes to mind, and they're not paying me to say this, is an online bank called Chime, Chime. Again, Chime's not paying me to say this. So with Chime, as I vaguely recall, you go online, I think it's chime.com, you register online, and you are issued an account number. So they've got checking account numbers, just like personal checking account numbers. So when you register, you're issued a checking account number, as well as you can get the banking routing number. So just like you've got a regular, like brick and mortar checking account, you've got your checking account, your routing number to make deposits and withdrawals per se with those banks. You get all that information, but you're not going to be dealing with a live, body, per se. All right. So with these, how do I deposit the money? How do I get the money? Get your money out of the account. So what you do is you deposit your money. You take your debit card. You're going to be eventually issued a physical debit card. Okay, you're going to take your debit card and you deposit your funds at places like, you're not paying me to say this either, Walgreens, CVS. So you just take, your 20, whatever much you've got with your debit card, you take it to the Walgreens or wherever, and you give that to the cashier and say, hey, I want to deposit offhand. That's what you do. You give it to them, say, hey, I want to deposit X amount of dollars into my checking account. So that is what you do with that. And again, you by handing your issue card to the cashier along with the funds, that's how is deposited. Typically about a day or maybe a day or two-ish, your account will show that it is credited or funds have been withdrawn from your account. You can make purchases online with that debit card that you receive. Sidebar, I do not recommend people from the credit person that I am. I do not recommend using your debit card to make online purchases, but if that is your only means to do so, but do so very cautiously. Okay, very cautiously. Brick and mortar stores still do that very cautiously, but you're going to be given a debit card where you can make transactions that way. So that is what is available, and I'm hopeful, Bank Shopper, that will help you out. So you're here with me, Father Al, with Dear Father Al, and Advice Column broadcast every Saturday from 2 o'clock p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Click the like, click the share, click the thumbs up. Tell as many people about the broadcast as possible. And if by chance you were watching the rebroadcast on YouTube, click the subscribe button. All right, so let's go ahead and roll forward with the next one that I've got. All right, so next one I've got. Before I proceed, our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter handle is Dear Father Al. Again, Dear Father Al is our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter handle. All right, so next one is Dear Father Al. I have met a man online who has invited me to spend the weekend with him so that we could get more acquainted with each other. Okay. He and I live in separate states. What should I do? Signed, Free Spirit. All right, very free spirit. If by chance, if you or a friend, wink, wink, have done something like this, you met somebody online, you just kind of did an initial chat with a person online, just pretty much text-only chat. This person he or she has invited you to visit, them out of state, or in another city, across town, whatever, for the first time. How did you handle it? Interject your comments in the chat line, and I will read those off as well. So, again, click the like, click the share, click the thumbs up, tell as many people about the broadcast as possible. And if by chance you've been watching the rebroadcast on YouTube, click the subscribe button. So, this is what I have for Free Spirit. All right, Free Spirit. Personally, I'd be very cautious about doing something like this, especially if it's, maybe, another, across town, something like that. Let's get together, somewhere reasonably close. That's okay. But when we're talking, okay, let's go to another city, 50, 60 some odd miles away, for example, another state, another country, something like that. Well, yeah, come and see me and we'll get to know each other. Right. So, again, I'd be very cautious about doing something like this. Prior to meeting him, in this case, set up an online video chat with him at least once, a few of them, so that you can get more than just a picture of him. You could do background checks on him online and see if he has any other social media accounts, which could provide some more details about him. Maybe he has some Tinder. Tinder not paying me to say this. Maybe he's got some Tinder account and he's just going and going and going and going. So he may have something like that. Not that Tinder's, that's your thing. Not saying Tinder's bad, but hey, he may have other social media accounts that are out there. So that way you can do some checking to see what other profiles that he may have out there. Okay. Also, let me see. Consider doing a name search using a popular search engine. Google is what I use for the most part. So Google not paying me to say this. So what you can do in your search engine, which is Bing, Bing's not paying me to say this. So what you can do is go to your search engine website, and in the search box, type in that person's name, the full name or whatever name that you have available from, nickname, whatever. Type in that person's name. Try to get the full name. First name, what is middle initial you've got, last name. Enter that information and do a search. And then just check out all the search results and see what you can find. After you've done that, then do it again, but this time put quotation marks on the beginning, before the first letter and at the end of the last letter, and that will further narrow the search and it will specifically look for that. The other way, kind of a little more vague, but this way it'll specifically look for the name that you entered into the search box. So that way you may be able to find some additional information that way as well. So that is something that I think will help you out and can go a long way for the most part. Also, if by chance you've done all that, things seem to be reasonably, well, and what you find or what you don't find on a person, consider, especially if it's out of town, consider staying in a separate hotel. If this person wants to meet you at a certain hotel, whether you want to stay at a different hotel or a different room, if you want to do that, you don't have to stay next to each other. You could if you want, but just as long as it's a separate room from this person. If you guys want to get together, later on, then go to his room, your room, whatever. That's fine, but at least you've got a way out to be able to go to your own room. Also, have your own transportation. Rent a car. Don't depend on shared. I mean, you could, but having your own set of wheels, that way you're not standing around waiting for a ride to come get you. If you want to leave, boom, you're out of there and can go. So that is something to consider. Also, consider sharing the address and contact information with any additional friends that you have. That way your friends will know where you are for the most part. So I'm hopeful that will help you out, Free Spirit. Again, click the like, click the share, click the thumbs up, tell as many people about the broadcast as possible. And if by chance you've been watching the rebroadcast on YouTube, click the subscribe button. All right, so we got one more, and we're going to call it a wrap. All right, last one says, Dear Father Al, I'm in a new relationship with a newly divorced man who seems to be rushing our relationship's intimacy. I prefer to start off more slow and cautious. He is quite the opposite and is all hands on deck. He's all hands when we are together. He is very attractive, and I assume he feels the same about me. I have been married before as well. He is also 15 years younger than me. Okay. Signed, Hesitant. All right, Hesitant. I will reply back to you next week. So if by chance you'll be dealing with something similar to this, interject your comments in the chat line, and I will reply back next week. So again, you're here with me, Father Al, with Dear Father Al, an advice column broadcast every Saturday from 2 o'clock p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Click the like, click the share, click the thumbs up, tell as many people about the broadcast as possible. And if by chance, if you're watching the rebroadcast on YouTube, click the subscribe button. Until next week, go in peace.